As general manager and head coach candidates are expected to be brought back for second interview shortly, Jets insider Jets stands on this search. We're going to get down to a edition of NY Flight Jets Talk.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Cimini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Hello everyone. Welcome into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk, Monday, January 20th. 2025, and I see you guys in the chat saying there were mic issues. I have the YouTube chat open, and sometimes I forget to mute the YouTube, so it's an echo, and that's why it happens. So it should be much better now. I turned it off, and I was doing like the preview, so I was like, I'll just finish it, then turn it off right away. But yes, that does happen sometimes. Appreciate you guys keeping me updated in the chat. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of your support on the program. Our membership raffle leaderboard is down below. Every membership you gift gets you a ticket into our raffle. Prize we're raffling off this month. Garrett Wilson signed mini helmet, Wayne Corbett signed football, free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji. So be sure to get in on that if you haven't already, and add the amount of memberships you gifted. It helps. It's a great way to support the show, and it gives you a chance to win some prizes. That's the paid way to support. The free way that helps just as much is smashing the like button and making sure you are subscribed to the channel. 18 you guys watching on YouTube, only 10 likes, so please hit the like button and subscribe. Appreciate all of your support. Let's say what's up to everyone in the chat. Our guy taking care of business comes in early. I appreciate you tuning in. Caden in the chat. Caden, I appreciate you tuning in. Jimmy Jets comes in. Almost time for Connor to enlighten us with his QB list. LOL. Jimmy, the QB list is for once the head coach and general manager search is concluded. That's when we get into our draft talk. Alan, I appreciate you tuning in. Connor taking the YT world by storm. Alan, appreciate it. I appreciate all your support on the show. This was I think this might be the comment of the day. Is there a Bet US line on which hat Connor will be wearing this morning? No, but we can certainly try to set that up, like an NY Flight Jets Talk prop bet, something like that, parlay, whatever they call it now. And we'll you guys can try to guess what hat I'm wearing. But I'm right now. You guys might not be able to see what the blur, but the Rogers Wilson 2024 campaign hat did not go as planned. I'll say that. To be clear, I bought this before the season started. Where are we? Alan says, my guess is an Atlanta Hawk hat before they beat the Knicks for the third time today. Well, Alan, I'm actually not a Knicks fan, so I don't have to worry about the Hawks. I'm a Nets fan, so the Nets aren't much better. I think they're 14-29 now, coming off, which is, I think, a 30-point loss to the Thunder last night. So the tank is in full swing right now. Where are we? Yeah, audio choppy. Snowball, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your support. DT, Dylan Terraman, who will be joining me on the program Wednesday evening, I think 8 p.m. it is. Audio is choppy in the intro. Dylan, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your support. Follow him at D Terraman on Twitter. Read his work, JetNation.com. He does shows on Jet Nation YouTube channel. So follow him on all social media. Jared B tuning in. Jared, how you doing? I appreciate you tuning in. Phil, good to see you in the chat. Appreciate your support. All right, there it is. Keep the questions, comments, super chats, memberships flowing in the chat. We'll be sure to get to every question or comment. And then if you want to call into the show, get on the air right away. It is the pinned comment in the chat. But let's get into today's, the main news cycle from what we've heard today. Basically seems appearing on ESPN radio last night with Jake Asman. Jets insider Brian Costello revealed the route the Jets are going to want to go. And I don't know if this intrigues fans a lot, just based on, the way they've been talking about certain head coach candidates they would like. So let's take a listen.
So I like Josh a lot. That's one guy in the search that I know well, and he is that leader. He is a guy who I talked to Brandon Marshall on Friday about him, and Brandon played with him in Chicago, not with the Jets, but with the Bears. And Brandon said, I don't really give a crap about the scheme stuff. He's like, I would lead Josh anywhere. He's like, everyone in the building loves Josh, and he'd be great. And he sort of talked to me too about he played for Josh McDaniels in Denver, and he's like, Josh McDaniels was the whiz kid with the offense. He goes, but he couldn't lead. So he's like, that doesn't work either. In terms of his chances, Jake, I feel like the Jets are going to try to make this as low risk as they can. And do they feel like I think they feel a lot of pressure on this one. Like, it's always hard to hire a coach, don't get me wrong. But this one feels even more so than the ones I've covered, just because 14 years, the bad press that Woody has gotten the last few months, I think they're going to try to make this the least risk possible. And to me, Josh has tremendous upside, but Josh is a risky hire. Like, you have like anyone who likes Josh, you have to admit it. Like, you're not quite sure. He's only been a coach in the NFL for 2 years. He was a quarterback for 18 years. That helps. Who's his staff going to be? That'd be a big question for me. So I think I don't think he's a favorite for this job, just because I think they're going to go low risk. But I like Josh personally.
This quote from Brian Costello concerns me tremendously, that the Jets are going to go low risk here. And you want to know why? Not because of Aaron Glenn, maybe the Jets are thinking that, but when I hear low risk from Brian Costello, that the route the Jets are leaning towards, that screams to me Arthur Smith and Matt Nagy. Let me know what you guys made of that in the chat, but that screams Arthur Smith and Matt Nagy to me. I could see the Jets, first off, for some reason, they really love Arthur Smith. They were almost going to hire him before they hired Saleh in 2021, and they almost brought him on the staff last year as an offensive consultant. So there's that. They have the prior connection, similar to what happened with Adam Gase. They've been pretty much gung-ho on, we want someone who has experience. Kaz mentioned that there. He wants them to go with an experienced route. So, Arthur Smith, he has 3 years of head coaching experience. He went 7-10 all 3 seasons. 21-30 record is what he finished with in Atlanta. And I can see the Jets looking, hey, they were one of the fewest penalized teams under his tenure. Please do not go Arthur Smith. He might be he's close to dead last on my list. He's right down there with a Jeff Ulbrich. Jeff Ulbrich's hired now. Mike Locksley, and who's another name I don't like? Steve Spagnuolo. He's all the way down there for me. I am not a fan of Arthur Smith whatsoever. So when the Jets say low risk, Arthur Smith comes to mind right away. Second guy I thought of when I heard that quote from Kaz, I was listening to it last night on ESPN radio. Second name that came to mind, Matt Nagy. I could see the Jets being so intrigued with Matt Nagy because, hey, he has had coaching experience. He finished his tenure with a winning record. He's the coach of the year. He brought Mitch Trubisky to the playoffs. And look, now he returned to his original coaching tree with Andy Reid and Kansas City. He's their offensive coordinator. No, neither one of them are the answers. If you're going to go the retread route, those two guys are far from who you want to target. Heck, I'd probably put Darren Rizzi over those two guys, honestly. I'm tired of bringing in, they both remind me so much of Adam Gase. I'm not going with Matt Nagy or Arthur Smith. That does not excite me. I can name so many candidates: Bobby Slowick, Josh McCown, Aaron Glenn, just to rattle off a few, Joe Brady. I would prefer immediately over any of those names. My God, those are not captivating whatsoever. You want someone to come in here and change the culture of the organization? Well, you are not getting that in Matt Nagy or Arthur Smith. You simply aren't. Neither one of them have proven they can develop a quarterback. So they might be offensive minds with head coaching experience, but they still can't develop a quarterback. Like, come on, what are we thinking here? This just shows the Jets haven't learned from their mistakes. Okay, here's an idea, Jets. If you want to go low risk, if you want to go that low risk route, how about you interview Mike McCarthy, who's 172 and 112 as a head coach in his career, won a Super Bowl as a coach, 18 years of head coaching experience. Why don't you just talk to him if you want to go a low risk route? Why don't you talk to John Gruden, who won the Super Bowl and was available all this time? Just talk to him. Why don't you talk to Pete Carroll, who knows what it's like to coach the Jets? He coached them in 1994. Super Bowl winning coach, above 500 records, so much experience. Like, come on, what are you thinking here? There are options if you want to go low risk. The three names I just mentioned. Arthur Smith and Matt Nagy are not low risk whatsoever. You can't do that. It's insane. You're just simply not learning from your prior mistakes. It's almost as bad as, saying, okay, we're going to hire, obviously this can't happen anymore, but we're going to hire Jeff Ulbrich. Like, come on. Give me Aaron Glenn. Give me Josh McCown. Give me Bobby Slowick. Give me Joe Brady. All these guys. I'm going to pull up the tracker. Just press tracker. Here we go. Like, I'm just going to rattle off names I would prefer over these two guys. Give me Ron Rivera over them. Give me Bobby Slowick. Give me Joe Witt Jr. Give me Josh McCown, I said. I wouldn't take Vance Joseph. Give me Joe Brady. Give me Aaron Glenn. Give me Brian Flores. These names are not captivating whatsoever. These aren't guys who are going to come in and change the franchise. It's not even like you're taking a big swing. They might have a higher floor compared to Josh McCown, but their ceiling is so freaking low. It's so low. The goal here is to win a Super Bowl. It's to win a Super Bowl. It's not to go, you hire Arthur Smith, you hire Matt Nagy. They might have a high floor, but such a low ceiling. Okay, let's go 9-8 the next 3 seasons, sneak into the playoffs and lose 40-0 in Buffalo the first round. That is not exciting whatsoever. Not exciting. They might have a higher floor compared to Josh McCown, Bobby Slowick, Joe Brady, Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, but their ceiling is so low. Their ceiling is so low. Their ceiling is like 11-6 and getting bounced in the first round, not winning a playoff game. That is their ceiling. I don't even know that. From what we've seen, Arthur Smith's ceiling is 7-10. It's a ceiling and floor because that's all we've seen from him as head coach. 7-10 record. Sorry about my rant there, but I need to get that off my chest. You're saying the Jets are saying they want to go low, no experience. They want to go low risk. They want to take a low risk move. They want to hire someone who has upside, who has a higher floor. Well, these 2 guys are not your answer. I'm sorry. The 3 guys I mentioned are your answer if you want to go that route. Mike McCarthy, John Gruden, or Pete Carroll, not Arthur Smith or Matt Nagy. No. So I appreciate you guys listening to my rant there. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all your support. 45 of you guys here in the building. Only 22 likes, so 23 of you guys have not liked the video. Please hit the like. It is completely free. It helps the channel grow tremendously as we continue to try to do this great thing, building this Jets community. And subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see the exact subscriber count we're at right now. We are at 1,396. Come on, guys. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Let's get to 1.4K before the show. Let's please do that. Let's see. Keep the questions coming in. I'll be sure to get to all of those. If you want to call in, pin comment in the chat. I'm going to keep the sugar in a little longer. Jaro coming in. He says, offensive mind, please. For the last 25 years, we've always hired a defensive coach, and guess what? Never develop a quarterback. G, I see why. McCown or Brady for me. I want the next McVay or O'Connell or Shanahan. We're on the same page here. I have been saying this for the past few weeks. The one offensive mind they've hired since 2000 is Adam Gase. And I think we could all admit Adam Gase deserved the job. So let's chalk that one up. At this point, we've missed the playoffs for 14 years. The goal is to win a Super Bowl. They need to take a big swing on a young, innovative offensive mind. Joe Brady, Josh McCown. I wouldn't hate Bobby Slowick. This is an offensive-driven league. Like Kyle Shanahan, you mentioned there, Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell. These guys are top coaches, and that's why their teams have success year in and year out. I know that the 49ers didn't have as much success this year, but it was hard to blame that on Shanahan. They were pretty much riddled with injuries all season long. But come on, we need an innovative offensive mind. As for Brady, he ran out of time to interview with the Jets last week, and now that he's preparing for the AFC Championship game, he's not allowed to interview, so it seems like he has no shot of getting the job just because he's going to have no time to interview unless the Jets want to wait till potentially February 11th to bring in a head coach, which I'm not a fan of. Let's see. Yeah, so Dylan and I are on the same page. To me, low risk means sketchy candidates if they don't interview McCarthy. Arthur Smith, Matt Nagy. Okay, I'm going to try to answer this in the best way possible. This is not a desirable job for potential coaches. We're going to have to take what we can get. I think McCarthy, Carroll, Kingsbury have no intentions of coaching here based on lack of interviews. Here's what I'm going to say. This team has talent. I think they have the most talented roster out of any openings, out of any of the head coach openings. They don't have a quarterback. I'm gonna make that clear. They don't have a quarterback, but overall, the talent of the roster, I think this is the most talented roster. And I think this has to do with the Jets. Potentially, Woody Johnson, he's a meddler. Coaches aren't going to want to come here because of him. The GMs are going to not want to come here. Woody Johnson has proven over his ownership of this team, he only meddles when he does not trust guys. And he did not trust Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh towards the end of the run here, that he had to jump in and make a move quickly. That is not normally who Woody Johnson is. Woody Johnson normally takes a step back and allows people to do their jobs. That's what Woody Johnson's reputation is. If you go back to prior of 2022, prior Douglas Saleh. That's not his reputation. There's talent here. I think the Jets have the potential to land a top head coaching candidate who are still available. Josh McCown, Aaron Glenn, Brian Flores. I think the Jets are going to land one of those guys. If I had to make a prediction right now, I think it's Glenn, but all three of those guys I would take. Let's see. Yeah, this does not excite fans, Jay. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm mad if they go with Smith or Nagy. Not exciting at all. Beloved piece. That tells me it would be Glenn. Glenn would be the pick that everyone praises Woody for. It doesn't tell me it would be Glenn, beloved piece, just because he said low risk. Going with Aaron Glenn, who draws a lot of parallels to Robert Saleh, would not be a low risk because we all know how Saleh's tenure went. 20-36 after 4 seasons. When I think low risk, I think head coaching experience, offensive mind. That basically trims the list down to 2 candidates, Arthur Smith and Matt Nagy. Jared says, preach, Connor. I appreciate it. Harry W. Tuning in, Harry. I appreciate your support. I think Flores and Thomas Dimitroff. They both overlapped in New England, which I think is interesting. I would love Dimitroff. He's probably my number 1 general manager candidate, and I wouldn't mind Flores. You get me that regime, though, I'm happy overall. Let's see. Where are we? Keep the questions coming. We're going to be sure to get to everyone. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. 42 of you in the building. 33 likes. Please like the video. It helps us grow tremendously. Let's see where we are at for a subscriber count. Still at 1,396. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Let's get to 1,400 by the end of the show. Helps the show grow a lot. And don't forget about our membership raffle. Your membership you gift gets you a ticket into our raffle leaderboard down below. Prizes this month: Garrett Wilson signed mini helmet, Winkerbet signed football, free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji. So be sure to get in on that or add to your raffle tickets if you haven't already. Where do we go? This is where I'm at. I said this on my show yesterday, Zoink Nation. Josh McCown and Alec Halaby, high risk, high reward. I say risk it. Worst that happens is we get a top 5 pick in next year's deep QB class. Not so bad, LMAO. I think that has they have a low floor just because we don't know who they are as a head coach and a general manager. They have a super low floor, but the ceiling is Super Bowl. They have such a high ceiling. So you bring in McCown's in his 40s, Halaby's still in his 30s. It's either late 30s or early 40s. I'm a fan of Halaby a lot. I'll start with Halaby. 17 years with the Eagles, worked his way up all the way as an intern. Now he's Howie Roseman's right-hand man. And Howie Roseman is one of, if not the best general manager in all of football. Howie says Alec draws a lot of parallels to him, which I think is great. My one concern, I like this, but to an extent, Halaby is pretty much fully reliant on analytics. I am all for analytics. You guys could probably tell from watching the show. I'm a numbers guy. I love analytics, but still, I think there's something to be said for still the eye test. So I think he needs to lean a little bit more on the eye test and a little bit less analytics, but he does that. I think Halaby's a great hire. As for McCown, I spoke about him a ton. He's a leader. He's a CEO type guy. You give me him with Doug Peterson, Lovie Smith, Mike Pettin. I think that's a great staff. And then GM Alec Halaby. It's a swing for the fences, guys. Let's be real. But the goal here is we've been out of the playoffs for 14 years. If you put that behind us, we want to go ahead and win a Super Bowl. We don't want to hire a Steve Spagnuolo and go 9-8 next season and just sneak into the playoffs. Like I said, the example I give every time, lose 40-0 in Buffalo. That's not exciting. The goal here is to win a Super Bowl. We've been awful for 14 years. Swing for the fences. Swing for the fences. This is the move that would allow the Jets to swing for the fences. I missed this comment from Dylan Terraman. DT says, Connor, who are you rooting for tonight, and why is it Ohio State? I'm not rooting for Ohio State, actually. I'm rooting for Notre Dame. This is not why. He has a grudge against Will Howard. I don't like Will Howard as a prospect. I'm sure he's a great guy. I can go into why I don't like him as a prospect, but I have nothing against Ohio State as a team. I just think there's something really cool to be said for a team that is able to come in as underdogs and climb their way all the way to the national championship. I love Marcus Freeman. I think Riley Leonard's good at the college level. I don't think he's going to be good at the pro level. But I'm rooting for Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. Go Irish, baby. I'm not a big college football fan overall. Let's make that clear too. So if I had to pick a team, I'm rooting for Ohio State tonight. Where are we? Jets Worldwide says Dimitroff, general manager. McCown head coach, Burnell OC, DC under McCown. The two names I've thrown out a lot here. Jets Worldwide are Mike Pettin, former Jets defensive coordinator, former Browns head coach. He's on the staff with McCown in Minnesota. And Lovie Smith, former Bears and Texans head coach. McCown played under Lovie Smith. I would love that. I just think Dimitroff and McCown is an arranged marriage, which I don't like. I don't even think McCown is a direct connection to any GM candidates. So it's going to be arranged marriage no matter what if you bring in McCown as head coach. I don't think McCown gets the head coaching job, though, unfortunately. Oh, DT's a Will Howard guy. O'Connor's a Will Howard guy. Change that on Wednesday evening show. I'd love to talk some Will Howard film with you. Let's see, where are we in the chat? DT, I hear you're a natural observer tonight, but I agree with you on your Notre Dame takes. Appreciate you, Dylan. Charles, has there ever been a player that has gotten an NFL head coaching job with 2 years of coaching experience? I don't know. I would guess not, but here's the thing. It's easy to look and say he has 2 years of coaching experience, which is a fact, but he was an 18-year journeyman quarterback. He was a backup the most of his career. He was a motivator. He was a leader throughout his career. And let's be real. The job of a head coach in the National Football League is to be a leader, a motivator, a mentor. And that's what Josh McCown is. No one has said one bad thing about Josh McCown. Not one person has been like, oh, this guy's terrible. He's not a leader. He's a jerk. No, Josh McCown is a leader. He's a CEO-type guy, and this is what the Jets need. This is what the Jets need, not to mention he's an offensive guru, has a history with the organization, and Sam Darnold has praised him for a lot of his resurgence this past season. So that's what I have to say on McCown. He might have just 2 years of coaching experience at the NFL level, but it stretches beyond that. Jordan, as much as we want the Jets to succeed, this needs to be a tank year. You can't win without a franchise quarterback. I'm not for tanking whatsoever. I think this team still has talent. I think they're able to have some success with a bridge option next year, so I'm not for tanking. But, even if you tank, let's say you tank, you get the number 2 overall pick, you're throwing a whole season away, and there's still no guarantee you're going to get a franchise guy. So that's way too risky for me. Remember, tank for Trevor, tank for Zach? How did that go? How did that go? Both of them are complete. I'd say both of them are complete busts. I don't know how Trevor Lawrence got that insane contract. He is trending way towards the bust category. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. 43 you in the building. 35 likes. Be sure to hit the like button. 8 of you have not liked the video yet. Helps us grow tremendously. 1,397 subscribers. Let's get 3 more by the end of the show. That would be great. Head out on this show with 1,400 subscribers. We're going to wrap up here soon. We'll be back later today for a second show. It's either going to be, I'm going to have a guest, so stay tuned. The show's either going to be at 7 p.m. or 2 p.m., so stay tuned. No, we're not doing 3 shows today, but it's either going to be, second show of the day is either going to be at 2 p.m. or 7 p.m., so stay tuned for that. Last chance to give memberships, last chance to get your final questions, comments, thoughts in, last chance to call into the show with the pinned comment in the chat, and check out our merch store and Discord in the bio. Great stuff there. Merch store, we have great NY Flight Jets talk items, Discord, daily Jets conversations with a ton of the listeners here on the program, so check that out. Appreciate you all for the support. Last chance to get your thoughts in. Hopefully when we're back, guys, on the second show, we have a GM or head coach finalist to get into. I hope that's the case. And hopefully the Jets are going to call guys back for second interviews, and that's what we're going to be able to talk about. So yeah, we're back. We're back with Antoine Staley at 2 p.m. I think it is. Yeah, Alan says 2 p.m. much better. Yeah, we're going to do 2 p.m. with Antoine Staley, Jets insider. So stay tuned for that. He's going to give us the latest scoops and all the Jets head coach and GM search. Let's see. Charles, there's more to being an NFL head coach than just being a light guy. You're responsible for running all the aspects of the team. This takes years to understand. I basically explained that earlier. He's a CEO type guy, and he's a leader of men. Him being well-liked is a plus, but yes, that doesn't really change my stance. It's that he's a leader of men. He's a leader. People are going to listen to him. People are going to listen to Josh McCown. That's what makes him special. He was a finalist for the Houston Texans job in 2021 and 2022, Charles, when he had 0 years of head coaching experience whatsoever. 0 years of head coaching experience at the NFL level whatsoever. He coached 1 year of high school football at Myers Park, and he was a finalist for that job. That just goes to show how much of a leader he is. How highly people think of him. Not to mention, he last retired in 2020. So he has this special connection with the players, which I think is awesome. Alan, Jeff Hafley might be the unorthodox hire with John Eric Sullivan as GM would excite the fan base. I might riot if they hire Jeff Hafley. I mean, this guy, 1 year as a successful defensive coordinator at the NFL level, after going 22-26 at Boston College. No, thank you. No, thank you. Ace of Spade, who of the GMs left have a philosophy aligned with Aaron Glenn? I'd say Brian Gain, the former Texans GM and the Bills assistant general manager. Let me think. I think Gain is probably the only name I could think of right now. I'd say Gain is probably, well, Agnew and Dorsey, because they both come from the Lions organization, but they haven't gotten an interview. It seems like they're pretty much out on the job. So I'd say the ones they've interviewed, probably Gain. Let's see. Jimmy, I think Connor's read Salah's book on motivational speaking. I don't even know if I don't even know if Salah has a book. That'd be funny if he actually did. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if Salah has a book. Appreciate you all tuning in. We're gonna wrap up here. Last chance to get in on the conversation. Pinned comment in the chat. Final thoughts in. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like. 5 of you have not liked the video yet. Still, please. It helps the channel grow a ton. Beloved Peace, I think the leadership thing is a bit overrated. Be good at your job and the players will respect you. I mean, look at the teams where there are natural leaders. Dan Campbell, yes, it's not going to be a good example because they just lost the other night, but Dan Campbell, yes, he he lost, but still, he's a natural leader. He never called, you guys know this, he never called plays before. He never called plays before in his coaching career, and he's one of the best head coaches in all of football. One of the best head coaches in all of football, never called plays before. Mike Tomlin, a subtle leader of men, has never had a losing season over 18 years. Mike McCarthy, a subtle leader of men, is 172 and 112. Like, leadership is such an the job of a head coach is to be a CEO/leader, and then you let your coordinators call plays and handle the schematical stuff. Head coach is a motivator. He's a leader. He's a mentor. That's what a head coach in the National Football League is. I spoke about this earlier on the show, Alan. Mike Pettin or Lovie Smith. Probably one of those two guys, and then Doug Peterson for OC. Oh. Oh yeah, this the Hard Knocks speech. Don't be the eagle, let's be the raven. The sideline statue. I appreciate you all tuning in. Jets Worldwide, which head coach candidate brings Rodgers back? I don't know why anyone would want to bring Rodgers back. Just because you keep him, you're putting yourself in. I don't even think it's more head coach. I think it's more GM. Alec Halaby, who's focused on analytics. Mike Greenberg, who's focused on cap. They look at the cap situation, the analytical route. Why would they bring Aaron Rodgers back? You bring him back, you're taking on dead cap charges in 2026 and 2027. That's a few years down the road for a GM. That could be nearing the end of their tenure. Why are they going to want to pay Aaron Rodgers money throughout the entirety of potentially, hopefully not, but potentially their entire tenure here? Like, why would anyone want to do that? I think it's more so the GM not wanting to bring Rodgers back than potentially a head coach, but I can't think of a head coach candidate. Maybe Flores or Glenn would want to bring Rodgers back, but I think a GM, especially a younger GM, would override that immediately. All right, we're just about to hit the 30-minute mark, little 30-minute morning show here. I appreciate it. 2 p.m. I'm going to set the show up immediately right after this. 2 p.m. We're going to be back. Jets Insider for the Daily News, Mr. Antoine Staley, who is joining us. So we'll get into that. Here's the thing, Ace of Spade. I've explained this the past few shows. He could take a pay cut, but a lot of the money is from a pro trade signing bonus that even if he takes a pay cut, you're still going to have to pay him that money. So you're just pushing it all the way down the road. You're just pushing it further down the road. You're not getting rid of the money. Just pushing it further down the road. So no, that is not the answer. Jared B, I thought Lovie Smith passed away. No, Lovie Smith is still alive. And let me pull it up. He's 66. Lovie Smith is 66 years old. So he's on the older side, but no, he is still alive. Yeah. Ace of Spade, it's terrible. You just need to get out of this contract immediately. Call it a bad move. $49 million. Pay him it next season. Get out of the contract for good. That is the best option. 1,000%. He might be, a better option, potentially from a statistical standpoint, than a Tyrod Taylor. but the cap ramifications that come with it, no way. Appreciate you, Jared. Caden tuning in. How are you doing? Caden, I'm doing well. We're gonna wrap up here shortly. So I saw you putting a comment in last night. I appreciate you getting in right after I set up the stream last night. Barney, I meant for a coach. Like 66, we've seen Pete Carroll who's 70, who's in his 70s, but Pete Carroll's like a crazy energy. I'm talking about like a coach here. For example, we call Aaron Rodgers old at 41. For a football player, he's old, but not for a regular person. No. Barney, because the pro trade signing bonus, he has option bonuses and pro trade signing bonuses. So if he's on the roster, no matter what, they owe him that money. But by restructuring the deal, you're pushing the money you owe him further down the road. That's what a restructure is. And also, he has void years on his contract, which adds even more, chaos to it. So yes, if he's on the roster, he has a roster bonus. I don't know exactly how much, but it's a ton of money. You take him, you cut him, pay him $49 million next season. That's what you have to do. Where are we? Anything else? Oh, we'll wrap with this one. Caden says, I think we get a GM today or tomorrow. I'd say Wednesday, Caden, just because they haven't brought guys back for second interviews yet. So maybe tomorrow. No, definitely not today. I could say that right now. Definitely not today. But I could see tomorrow or Wednesday for sure. See, do we have any, just before we wrap up here, I'm going to see if we got any late news regarding the search. Haven't already, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. We're 3 away from 1,400. Come on, guys. I bet there's 3 of you who aren't subscribed watching right now. Please hit subscribe. It helps a ton. And then smash the like button. 41 of you in the building on YouTube, 38 likes. 44 of you actually in the building, 38 likes. So please hit the like button. Is there any news? Let's see. Does not seem like there's any new news here. Alan says late news. The Jets are miles away from relevancy. Talented roster. This hire is very important. Very important. Yeah, it seems. I'm looking on Twitter. I just see like mock draft stuff. I saw a tweet from a sourced tweet, from U Stadium, but it's nothing that we didn't potentially know. Let's see. U Stadium says source we spoke. Let me go full screen on this. U Stadium says source we spoke with told us to keep an eye on Packers executive John Eric Sullivan for the Jets GM job. He's impressed in his interviews with New York and Tennessee. So we've heard that just from the Packers GM going like, oh, he'll be missed. So it seems like John Eric Sullivan might be coming back for a second interview. He's been with them since 2004. I think he was a Central Plains regional scout. And then now he's their vice president of player personnel. Here's the thing. He has a strained relationship with Rodgers. So if he's the GM, I can guarantee you Rodgers isn't coming back next season. At the buzzer, Jimmy Jets comes in with 5 gifted subs. Jimmy, I appreciate your support. That is 5 more raffle tickets for you. You're always gifting memberships, which means a lot to me in the program. Our guy Craig Wilton, Craig in Australia, gets a membership. Tio Uncle VR, Alan Dodes, K Brock the Jet fan, and Dino. You are all members. Be sure to thank our guy Jimmy Jets in the chat. Let's see, we gotta update the leaderboard there. Are you in? Let's see where you are now. You were in first place, 15 ahead of Rick Kent with 45 gifted memberships on the month. Jimmy, I appreciate all your support. At the buzzer, we're gonna wrap up here. Jimmy gets 5 in at the buzzer. That's great, Jimmy. I appreciate it. Genergy tunes in. Genergy, I appreciate your support. Oh, no, Dylan, JES has a strange relationship with AR. That's new to me. Strained relationship. Him and, it was reported after he got traded to the Jets that Rodgers had a poor relationship towards the end of the tenure with their general manager, Brian Gutekunst, and their vice president of player personnel, John Eric Sullivan. So it pretty much seal Rodgers' fate if Eric Sullivan gets the GM job. Anyways, now we're gonna wrap up here. Barring any last second memberships, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 46 of you in the building. getting a ton of engagement. I appreciate all of that. It helps the channel grow so much that you guys are supporting us. If you want to join our Discord, check out our merch store. All those links are in the bio down below. You have any suggestions, throw it in the chat. Throw it in our Discord. I can't promote the Discord enough. The Discord is such a great place. We have daily Jets conversations. We do exclusive channel updates on there. Be sure to check it out. I think let's get an exact number. We have 29 of you in there already. So please join the Discord down below if you haven't already. It would mean a lot, and it's a super fun place to talk some Jets football here. So Jimmy, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships at the buzzer. Caden, Havmo, Jets Worldwide, Alan, Genergy, Dylan, let's see, Barney, all these guys, Jared, Ace of Spade, said Havmo, Beloved Peace, Charles M. Everyone, I appreciate you all tuning in. It means a lot. Happy you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back. I'm setting it up right away, so stay tuned. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are joined by Antoine Staley of the New York Daily News, Jets Insider, so be sure to check that out. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel, smash the like button. Appreciate all your support. Hopefully we get some second interviews back. Those are reported by the time we go on for our second show of the day, so I appreciate you all tuning in. I am your host, Connor Long, signing off. JTS, Jets, Jets, Jets.